Why worry about evil old men and wars ruining the global economy of a world where the environment is compromised and everything revolves around oil, when you can play a game about a world with a compromised environment where the same evil old men keep starting wars for oil? Welcome to Oil Rush, the 2012 naval strategy game made by Unigine somewhere in a Siberian bunker as a tech demo for their game engine. There's not enough meat on this bone for a full forgotten game review, so we're going achievement hunting instead. Nuclear war has finally melted those pesky ice caps, and the dry land is no more. Everything has disappeared under the sea, with a few people still alive trying to survive in floating junk shacks and fighting one another for the dwindling resources of the planet. The new world is still shackled by the old, as various factions fight to control the single most important resource of the game: oil. Based on the setting so far, you could say this is Waterworld, but instead of a mutant drifter played by Kevin Costner, we play as Kevin, no last name, rookie fleet commander fresh from the Naval Academy. We're part of a group called the Sharks, and I'm 100% sure we're the bad guys. Our leader is Ebenezer Scrooge, if he was visited by the ghosts of fascism, because I'm no historian, but the shark flags look very similar to those you'd find in a Wolfenstein game. There are 40 achievements in total, 30 for the campaign, 9 for the multiplayer matches, and 1 linked to playtime. Getting all of them has been quite the ordeal, since most of them are fun mission challenges, while there are a select few that made me question my life choices. This adventure led me from fighting elite nuclear submarines to fighting broken achievement triggers and trapping the AI into a multiplayer game for 2 hours. Finally, a game that supports a modern resolution. Weird I had to input it manually though. But let's start with the campaign. First Blood is our tutorial mission, and you'll soon realize why I specifically called this a naval strategy game instead of an RTS. Each map has several capturable nodes. Most of them are unit factories and oil rigs, but there are a few different ones. Units are automatically created at factories for free until you hit the unit cap, and you can directly select and control them. You move them around by picking a node on the minimap, choosing to send 25, 50 or 100% of the units defending the node to another one, fighting enemies along the way. Destroying turrets, enemy ships, or capturing nodes nets you experience you can use to unlock upgrades and abilities from the tech tree, just like in Command & Conquer Generals or Red Alert 3. And the oil you get from oil rigs can be used to build and upgrade turrets around factory nodes, as well as cast your new shiny tech abilities, like the nuke. Congrats, you now know how to play the game, but we're getting ahead of ourselves, this is still the tutorial. We unlock the Piranha jet ski, the worst unit in the game, and it's a matter of just sending your swarm of wet bikes to capture the enemy boot camp to win the mission, netting us our first achievement, Fresh Meat. Black Gold is next, named after the only resource in the game, important because
he who controls the oil controls the universe.
Kevin has to restore the oil production of this area by capturing an oil rig and defending it against attacks until we extract 500 barrels. We also unlock the radar power, ship damage upgrade, and 2 turrets, the bunker and the artillery. Sadly, we can't build defenses on oil nodes, so our fleet will have to defend them while we reinforce the Piranha factory with bunkers. The building system reminds me a bit of Battle for Middle-earth, with the predefined circular slots where you just pick what building to construct. We have to play this mission twice because we have 2 conflicting achievements. For the first one, we have to defend the oil rig and gather the oil without attacking the enemy nodes. There's not much to do besides admire the models with the action camera as we wait for the clock to run out. Once we amass 500 oil, the mission is won and we earn Peacemaker. The aggressive run starts the same way, but we capture the second boot camp for more units and use their combined fleet power to take over the enemy shacks. They have just enough oil barrels to win us the mission without waiting, and we get our third achievement, Executioner. Kevin chases the raiders in the Wild West and finds out they've seized an oil refinery plant. We can't have other people using oil, and it's only natural to want to kill them for it. To do this, we get the Angler, a medium ship equipped with a machine gun and a mortar. The game wants us to secure the 2 nearby oil rigs, but we're going to stall a bit by capturing everything else. With enough oil, we can build 5 turrets on each unit factory, making sure we use the new accelerated construction power. After using it a 3rd time, we unlock Workaholic, and once we have 20 turrets built, we also get Paranoid. That's everything from this mission, so we can just capture the last platform and defend them against the increasingly stronger raider attacks that culminate with the junk zeppelins giving me a hard time. Eventually, one of them surrenders. Burn the Trash is the last mission of the first chapter, which honestly has been an extended tutorial for the most part. The captured Zeppelin pilot is willing to reveal the location of the raider base in exchange for 400 oil barrels. Losing the Zeppelin is game over, and we need it for the second half of the mission. But it's not too difficult to take over the enemy platforms, especially since we unlock Demoralization, an ability that temporarily reduces the attack power and armor of enemy units and platform defenses. This map has only been garbage patches and floating shacks. I expected the Sharks territory to be in better shape. With the last platform captured, the map extends, revealing the last enemy bases protected by a narrow tunnel filled with sea mines. We were supposed to use the Zeppelin to fly over everything and burn the shacks, but charging our army into the minefield unlocks Seasoned Kamikaze once we detonate 20 mines. After displaying no regard for human life, just waltz the flying junk balloon to capture and burn each shack to win the mission. We also unlock Law and Order for finishing the chapter and kill the deserter to take the oil back. It's expensive after all, and you can stay up to date on just how expensive it is because the game's website has a built-in real-time oil price tracker. City of the Dead is our first mission in the new Arctic map, replacing floating garbage with icebergs and rusted shacks with sunken cities. Kevin is sent on a mission to push back the Northern Rain and seize their territories with the help of a pilot.
Our whole squadron was slaughtered.
Say hello everyone, this is Firefly, her friends are dead. There aren't any achievements to unlock in this mission, but we do get the Seagull plane, useful to harass and capture faraway nodes. They may not have a lot of damage, but their constant movement means they're great at keeping the enemy occupied in long engagements. In Arctic Flight, Firefly managed to scout the area and find a new factory producing heavy ships. It's imperative we capture it and seize this new technology for the Shark Empire. Problem is, the factory is well defended with forts along the way. We start off by capturing platforms from the neutrals, including a heavy factory producing the Hammerhead. The blue allies of the Northern Rain are no joke, and we have to use Demoralization, combined with an increase in unit production speed to keep up with the enemy attacks and wipe them out to secure the left side of the map. The UI is simple and easy to use, but look at the size of this minimap. It's a maxi map at this point, and my only complaint is how reliant you are on it to issue orders. Most matches it feels like I'm staring at the corner of my screen, ignoring the main view if I don't have to build turrets. The game gives us an objective to capture the oil rig on the eastern side of the map with planes, but don't do it. Charge the enemy bootcamp controlling the defensive platforms, and once we secure it we get Frenzy, for not taking the oil rig before breaking the enemy defenses. And we capture the last factory to win the mission. Forging Victory is the first mission where the game took off its gloves. We have to defend 3 special factories for 20 minutes as technicians try to fix them to reverse engineer the Hammerheads. But everything took a turn for the worse when they sent planes to capture construction site A. This wasn't an optional objective, so I had to pull back my navy to defend it, leaving the other platforms exposed, which quickly collapsed our front and nearly cost us the mission, barely edging out a victory and missing on both achievements. Time to restart and focus on capturing the enemy platforms by ignoring the bonus objectives, rushing the airplane factory and using the seagulls to keep the enemy distracted, while the navy captured the nearby bases. Taking over their production actually meant fewer ships attacked the secondary objectives, and I found myself unlocking 4 men for defending all 3 construction sites while honestly just trying to capture the map. No matter how much I tried here, there just wasn't enough time to secure the last platform in 20 minutes, often starting the capture when the mission timer reached 0. 2 more attempts later, I managed to get just fast enough to grab the last enemy base and unlock Best Defense is a Good Offense. You don't need to hold all platforms, just the ones that produce units. Kevin starts having doubts and questions his orders. Why not end this war? What's the point of it? Why don't we just ally with the Northern Rain? I'll tell you why, because...
That's just how war works.
We take our shiny new Hammerhead tech for a spin as we have to capture all enemy platforms in Icebound. The western side of the map is neutral and easy to secure, going from node to node, increasing our navy with each new conquest. There's a single narrow corridor separating us from the enemy, but that won't stop him from sending airplanes to harass our backline. There's an achievement here to capture 5 oil rigs using airplanes. There are only 4 on the map, so we'll have to let the enemy reclaim some. I mostly sent planes to the center and northern nodes, and after playing Capture the Oil Rig, we unlock Mine. A slow but steady push with a giant fleet ensures we have control of the map. The environment and models look great, and you'd expect this to be a strong suit considering it's a tech demo. It reminds me a bit of Anno 2070 with that slightly futuristic art style, but the platforms, units and water would look right at home there. The water is the main element of this game, so naturally they spent a lot of time working on it with waves, underwater structures and whales, but I still think the best water in any RTS has to be Red Alert 3, which came out 4 years before this. At least we get to watch planes dogfight for the last platform of the mission. In Stealing Steel, Kevin leaves the fleet behind on a scouting mission and finds an abandoned helicopter platform. It was a trap, so now we have to defend the sole platform until the only chopper is ready to fly. There's a super long corridor and we have to stop 17 waves of enemies from capturing the base. We get no units, so this is purely an exercise in building and upgrading the right towers to rock, paper, scissors counter the enemy waves. Bunkers are great against jet skis and can shoot air units starting at level 2. Artillery deals with medium and heavy ships, while the anti-air turret is devastating to anything not touching the water. The first achievement we can earn here is Best Seller, for selling a turret during combat while it has less than 20% HP. Selling is instantaneous and a good way to deny the enemy XP while recuperating a part of the cost. The defense goes well until I realize I forgot air units existed, and watch as planes slowly chip away at my useless defenses. I save up some oil to use propaganda, which increases the platform's damage, at the same time with barricade, which stops all turrets from firing as they get repaired to get Viva la Revolution. Now I just need to actually win this. The waves get scarier and scarier. Wave 10 brings only hammerheads, Wave 13 brings helicopters, 15 has a repair boat trying to keep the enemy fleet alive, and 17 has the Manta Ray Ultimate Air Unit. It only took 40 minutes, but I somehow survived the last wave, and Kevin has to fly south to avoid the overwhelming enemy presence. The mission is won and we unlock Icehead for finishing the second chapter. On the Run starts with us low on fuel and cut off from the fleet as we have to outrun the Northern Rain pursuers in unknown waters. As we go from node to node, we keep finding remnants of our fleet, while a large enemy force is chasing us. The map keeps extending every time we capture the final oil storage in a region, and I spam the radar ability as often as I can because we get All-Seeing Eye after using it 10 times. There's also an achievement for killing our pursuers, and I find enough units and a good chokehold that I think would be the perfect spot to fight them. It's a bloodbath and we're nowhere close to killing them. A few more attempts later, it's clear this isn't the way to do it. Also, the achievement description is wrong. You have to capture all platforms and kill all enemies from every map for this to unlock. Here's the strategy. On the first map, quickly rush to get the enemy platforms. Once you capture the first oil rig, build artilleries on the nearby fort and avoid the central path by capturing the southwestern oil storage. Now we have to quickly capture the next oil rig and build some defense towers in the middle of the map. The enemy will split his army in half to capture the oil storage, so now we have the advantage if we fight him in the middle. Just make sure to sell your turrets after the fight. The other half of the enemy fleet will stay at the oil rig, so we can recapture the platforms we've lost. After that, it's all about sending our remaining units and the Firefly to fight these enemies while under the effects of demoralization, retreating to safety when it ends. It takes a few cycles, but Firefly is alive with 15 HP and the first map is secure. No one will chase us anymore, so there's no rush in capturing the second map, making sure to sell the towers from each base. The third map is a simple path and we just have to keep our helicopter behind, allowing us to finish the mission, earn Rambo, and crash land in China. At this point we got half of the campaign achievements and we get the honor of meeting the weirdest character in the whole game, Zhuang.
Rice won't grow faster if you water it with gasoline.
Welcome to the rice fields, where pre-war oil rigs are the solution to our resource shortage. We have to collect 1,000 oil and send it back to the commander. It would be a straightforward mission if not for the drought achievement. We need to drain every single drop of oil from the map, leaving less than 50 barrels out of the available 5,000. In the start, we capture the 2 oil storage facilities, getting steal and kill for plundering 200 oil from them. We don't want to capture the third one, as that would increase our limit above 900, meaning we could accidentally win too fast, considering how quickly we gain control of the map. We spend our precious resource on building towers and spamming abilities to waste as much as we can. Selling 10 towers will unlock Cheater, and once the map is low enough we can just wait. The convoy is here and the commander wants us to kill the local population. Kevin, execute Order 66.
What the hell are we waiting for? Let's stop Commander from burning them alive.
We finally switched sides for the social credit score, not because of Kevin's moral compass, and we're now yellow. Recapturing the platforms from the sharks will end the mission and award us with drought.
There is an ancient proverb. The hand that holds a rake can still change history.
We are now the Sea Dragons, and the commander has sent a nuclear submarine to hunt us. We have to win this mission with only one platform left under our control. I picked the left side since the submarine will arrive from the right and we need some time to prepare. I used the entire army to rush the helicopter base, trying to get 4 of them out, while fortifying the top left base with level 3 artillery cannons. Repair ships and stingrays really make a difference in the final battle, and once the sub goes down, we get last stand. Another path is another hard one. We have to protect the villagers as they try to flee from the sharks on wooden junk boats. The difficulty comes from having to escort all 12 ships for the coveted achievements. It took a few tries, but the way I finally managed to do it was by splitting the army into 4 groups. 2 of them would stay back with the junk boats to protect them from the odd attack, while the other 2 would clear the 2 paths ahead of the convoy. Not being able to directly control my units has been a weird quirk until now, but here it becomes frustrating as my ships will patrol around the platform, while the junk boats get attacked from behind, leaving me to wait until the fleet circles around to meet the enemy. Repair ships are a godsend here, as they also fix up our allies, and once the 2 groups merge again, it's considerably easier to defend, netting us 3 achievements: Semiconductor for guiding half of the ships, Moses for guiding all of them, and Enlightened for finishing the chapter.
Old Shuang never comes with empty hands.
The commander is about to catch these hands as we take the fight to him. Hijack shows us the last tile set of the game. We've had floating favelas, sunken cities with a touch of the Arctic, Chinese sea temples, and now finally the industrial weapon complex. We capture the surrounding platforms for XP and oil before the map changes and we have another 20-wave defense mission on our hands, while we're trying to steal an air unit. This one is considerably harder because enemies will come from 2 directions and I would love to take upgrades like cheaper defense towers, but we have to get sea mines and the napalm strike.
Here is a riddle. More than nothing, but always less than enough. What do I bring you?
I don't care. Just bring me some oil.
Deploying the sea mines 5 times will unlock Demolition Man, and using the napalm 5 times will get us Pyro Man. Now we just need to survive, and we're dead. The final waves are sending elite heavy ships and submarines, and our current defense doesn't stand a chance. So we restart and this time give up on napalm to focus on turrets, cheaper, stronger, tougher, which is overall an easier experience. Who knew that towers are the solution in a tower defense game? In the last drop, Kevin decides he's going to cut off the commander's oil supply, but winning the oil could cause him to lose something far more important. What an ominous description. I sure hope none of these characters I'm very attached to dies or something. This one is quite straightforward, as we have to capture the 3 anti-barge forts that control the Hormuz Strait and destroy the oil convoy that tries to pass through. We have to kill all of them, but also rush to take over the entire map, which is no easy feat, since missing a single barge means we have to load the save or restart. We are pressed for time and I managed to start capturing the last platform during the ending cutscene, where Firefly sacrifices herself to buy us some time. Her death is not in vain, as we get Che Guevara for capturing all platforms, and Gulf of Mexico for destroying all the oil barges. And now, the last mission of the campaign. Final countdown is upon us. Kevin confronts the man who was a second father to him, but the commander can't accept his time has ended, clinging to his oil and his dying way of life. In the end, he'd rather kill humanity with nuclear bombs than relinquish control. I'm not sure if the devs predicted the future, or if this is the fate of any old despot in power. We have to take over his fortress, but before that we need to capture the map to build a big enough force. It goes well, until it doesn't, and we now have a moral choice on our hands. We can send our units to die in a frontal assault of the fort, or capture the nearby nuclear facility and drop a bomb, using the terrible weapon of the enemy against them. Best option is to do both. Get the nuclear base, gather a huge fleet with as many repair ships, manta ray choppers and submarines as you can in front of the enemy fort, and save the game. Charging the enemy with the biggest armada ever lets us win without using the nuke, which invalidates the choice because Kevin drops the bomb anyway, Kevin and Zhuang set off to the east in search of a research site with an alternative power source, setting up a sequel that will never come, while staring directly at me, and now you, for some reason. We get the last drop for finishing the campaign, and clean hands for doing it without using the nuke. Now we just need to load the save, do the exact same charge, but throw a nuke somewhere to get the Fallout achievement and the same ending. With the campaign done, we have 10 achievements left, and the pain is not over as we have some tedious ones left, like playing a multiplayer game for more than 90 minutes. Thankfully you can do it with computer opponents. So I set up a game with a huge map and a single hard enemy. I brace for a long and hard battle, but 50 seconds in I randomly get aggression. I was ready to grind this one out, but it's definitely bugged, as there's no way to deal more than 1,500,000 damage in a single game by fighting the first neutral boat you see. We want to make our way down the tech tree towards 2 passives that will unlock achievements for us. Drill baby drill, for getting extra oil from platforms, and Crowd Lord, for increasing the population cap. Upgrading all towers on a platform to the max level will give us Defense Engineer, and I finished my preparations by leaving the enemy with a single piranha base, too weak to do anything. Now you can stare at this yellow pool water of a minimap, or go do something else for 90 minutes. Maybe the devs envisioned an epic 4-way multiplayer battle that was just so cool it had to take over an hour and a half for you to eventually win. But no, we're just waiting around. Eventually we get This is Sparta for wasting 90 boring minutes, which reminds me of the 80 hours of playtime achievement from Elex, where I had to just leave the game open for almost 3 days. But we're not done yet. The game ran for so long we've collected enough experience from the small jet ski fights to unlock another end of the tech tree power, namely the nuke. Naturally, I start dropping it just to feel something at this point. And while waiting for the ability to come off cooldown, we finally unlock non-stop fun for playing the game for 5 hours. Not having the game open for 5 hours, not counting the menu, loading screens, or when the game's paused, 5 actual hours of gameplay. Both the campaign missions and the multiplayer matches count for this one, so it's up to you how you want to unlock it. We drop the last nuke and get Nuke Master for using the ability 5 times in a single game and capture the last base to win. While the 1 million damage achievement was broken and I was happy to skip the grind, I soon realized Oil Tycoon was also not working properly. We have to capture and maintain control over all the oil rigs on a map for 5 minutes, something I've done for sure in the long game we've just had, and I hope we'll eventually get it while hunting for the last achievements. For the next one, we want to have a team game with at least one ally. When capturing a platform, we get the option to keep it for ourselves or gift it to our artificial friend. And we do just that 3 times to unlock Good Friend. I continued doing 1v1s with the AI on the smallest map with a single oil rig, until finally Oil Tycoon decided it was time to appear. And 2 games later, as soon as we win our 5th multiplayer match in a row, we get pawned. It's finally done. We've achieved dominion over Oil Rush. Originally the game was $20, but they made it free on Steam on its 10-year anniversary, so you have nothing to lose if you don't end up liking Wet Mad Max, the tower defense game. If it feels a bit simple, like a mobile game, that's because they actually launched a mobile version of it that has since been removed. Not to say the game's not difficult, mind you. It was different from what I expected and what I usually play, but I don't regret sinking a weekend to get another perfect game on Steam. I hope everyone is doing well. Personally, I've been spending way too many nights playing Age of Wonders 4. I can totally stop playing anytime I want. No, I'm not super addicted to it. You are. See you in the next one.